Imagine waking up on a random Tuesday morning in the middle of the semester. Your alarm goes off, and instead of hitting snooze 4 times and sinking into a familiar pit of dread, your feet just hit the floor. You don't feel a magical movie-like surge of motivation, but you get up anyway. You go to school, you face a pop quiz you weren't fully prepared for, and instead of spiraling into a panic about your entire academic future, you simply make a mental note to review the chapter later. You come home, you fear the overwhelming urge to scroll on your phone for 3 hours, but you casually put your device in another room and get your reading done. You aren't a robot, and your life isn't flawless, but for the first time, you are entirely in control. Welcome to episode 11 of Progress Over Perfect, and welcome to part 1 of our season finale. I'm your host, and over the past season, we've been on a massive journey together. We started with a simple promise, to completely ditch the toxic, fake aesthetic of the internet productivity and figure out what actually works for real, tired, stressed out students. Over the last 10 episodes, we've looked at the different pieces of the self-development puzzle. We talked about neuroplasticity, goal setting, the basal ganglia, procrastination loops, self-trust, and the sting of failure. But having all the puzzle pieces doesn't do you any good if you don't know how to put them together. Today, we are synthesizing everything we've learned into one cohesive, bulletproof operating system for your life. We are going to connect the dots and show you exactly how to build a mind that works for you, instead of against you. Grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's build the ultimate system. If we're building a house, we have to start with the foundation. For us, that foundation is neuroplasticity. We spent our first episode dismantling the biggest lie society tells teenagers. The idea that your intelligence, your discipline, and your confidence are fixed traits encoded in your DNA. According to the American Psychological Association, your brain is a highly adaptable organ, particularly right now. It is like a fresh field of snow. Every action you take and every thought you repeat leaves a footprint. When you understand that you are not fundamentally broken just because you struggle to get your homework done, the guilt disappears. You realize you're not lazy. You simply lacked a system. With the foundation poured, we needed a blueprint, which meant rethinking how we set goals. We stopped making vague, emotionally driven wishes like, I want to be a better student, or I want to get fit. Instead, we started defining specific, challenging micro-steps. Research from Harvard University's Center on the Developing Child showed us that breaking massive projects down into tiny sequential tasks is the only scientific way to prevent cognitive overload. When you stare at a massive goal, your brain perceives it as a threat and triggers avoidance. By scaling it down into a 2-minute action, you bypass the brain's alarm system. We learned to use if-then planning to anchor our new goals to existing habits, ensuring that our blueprint was built on logic rather than fleeting motivation. A blueprint is just a piece of paper until you start laying out the bricks. In your daily life, those bricks are your habits. This is where we dove deep into the basal ganglia, the primitive command center for habit formation identified by the National Institutes of Health. We accepted the biological reality that a habit is just a sequence of a cue, a routine, and a reward. We learned that relying on spontaneous motivation is a mathematically losing game because motivation is a fragile emotion that fluctuates based on your sleep, your stress, and your environment. To build good habits, we stopped relying on sheer willpower and started designing our environment. We made the cues for our good habits impossible to ignore. We left out textbooks open on our keyboards and our running shoes on our chairs. But building a house also means cleaning out the weeds, which brought us face to face with our bad habits and the dreaded procrastination loop. We completely shifted our perspective on procrastination. Thanks to extensive psychological research, we discovered that putting things off is not a time management problem. It is an emotion coping mechanism. When a task makes you feel anxious, inadequate, or bored, your brain seeks immediate dopamine release to soothe the discomfort, which usually means picking up your phone. To break this cycle, we applied the concept of strategic friction. We learned the 20-second rule. By forcing ourselves to walk into another room to get our phone, or by deleting distracting apps off our home screens, we added just enough physical friction to let our logical prefrontal cortex wake up and override the craving. We stopped trying to stubbornly delete bad habits and started substituting them with healthier routines that process our stress without destroying our tomorrow. With the foundation laid and the walls of our habits built, we needed a roof to protect it all. That roof is the confidence. We completely redefined what it means to be a confident person. We stripped away the cinematic illusion that confidence is walking in a cafeteria assuming everyone is obsessed with you. Instead, we aligned the clinical definition of self-efficiency, the deep, quiet internal trust you can handle whatever outcome happens. We realized that standing in front of a mirror and reciting positive affirmations is practically useless if your daily actions prove the exact opposite. Your brain is highly logical. It requires evidence. We discovered that confidence is a direct byproduct of competence. Every single time you kept a promise to yourself, even if it was as small as waking up to your first alarm, drinking a glass of water, or speaking up once in a class discussion, you cast a vote for your new identity. You deposited a coin into your confidence bank. By focusing on small, incremental wins, you proved to your own brain that you were a reliable person. That quiet competence naturally blossomed into an unshakable self-trust. But what happens when the storm hits? What happens when you build the habit, put in the work, trust yourself, and still fail the chemistry exam? What happens when you still get cut from a team or rejected by a friend group? This is where the weatherproofing of our operating system truly shines. In the past, a failure would trigger a massive shame spiral. We would convert the temporary event of failing into the permanent identity of being a failure. But equipped with the research on mindset, we learned that the brain registers social and academic failure with the exact same pain pathways as a physical injury. It literally hurts. Instead of suppressing that disappointment with toxic positivity, we learned to sit with it for a moment, then separate the heavy emotion from the objective facts. We asked ourselves what variable we could change and how we could adjust our strategy. Most importantly, we adopted the ultimate behavioral safety net, the never miss twice rule. We realized that one mistake, one missed workout, or one failed test does not erase months of neurological wiring. If we mess up on a Tuesday, we refuse to let guilt consume us. We simply give ourselves grace and make it our absolute highest priority to get back on track Wednesday. We shifted our internal monologue away from the victim mindset of, why is this happening to me? And pivoted to the empowered mindset of, what is the very next logical step I can take? When you take all these pieces, neuroplasticity, micro steps, habit stacking, friction management, self-efficiency, and a growth mindset, and you tie them all together, something incredible happens. You no longer have a fragile list of New Year's resolutions that you will abandon in 2 weeks. You have a resilient, scientifically backed engine that drives you forward even on your absolute worst days. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to show up and let the system do the heavy lifting. You are officially in the driver's seat for the rest of your life. But here's the reality check, and it's a big one. You can build the most perfect, efficient internal operating system in the world, but you do not live in a vacuum. You live in a high school, a college, a family, and a community. You are surrounded by other people. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 11 of Progress Over Perfect. Take a moment today to look back how far you've come since episode 1. Give yourself credit for showing up, doing that work, and choosing progress over perfection. Have a fantastic week, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you right back here for the final conclusion of our season.